Hi, I'm David the Fishing Pastor, and I'm back out here on Lake Hennessy doing some fishing, looking for some bigger fish, throwing some big swim baits and football head jigs and some big cranks. But what I really want to talk to you about today is part 3 of the bank fishing series. Today we're going to be talking about tools, the things that you can bring with you that'll help you out in your fishing experience along the way. So let's take a look at what I have with me, and let's talk about tools today. So I just want to go over some of the equipment and the tools that I bring with me when I go fishing, when I go bank fishing, just to make things easier for me. And some of these things I use constantly. Some of these things I hardly ever use, but I still like to have them with me just in case. But the first thing I want to talk about is definitely a cutter. And you know, if you've fished for any amount of time, you know this. You need some type of cutter, whether it's nail clippers or some scissors or something. I have this boomerang cutter here that I really like, and they can be a little bit pricey. I got mine on a special, so it wasn't expensive for me. But you know, they open and you can actually close this so that it stays closed. Mine's kind of wearing out. I've had it for a while now, so it doesn't always stay closed. And then another cool thing is it has an LED light. And again, my batteries died in mine, so I have to get some new ones. But it's really cool because if you're in the dark and you really need to cut the line and you can't see it, turn on that LED light and it definitely helps you to see what you're cutting. You don't want to cut your main line and then you have to retie all over again or whatever. So definitely some cutters, really necessary. Again, nail clippers, scissors, whatever you have, but something to cut line with. Something that can cut all kinds of line, whether it's braid, fluorocarbon or monoline, just something to cut that line with. Another thing that I always have with me for sure, and again, just a tool that every angler should really have with them, is some Needlenose Pliers. And these aren't fishing ones, these are just ones that I got like at Ace Hardware. They were in my car. And I figured I'm gonna just put them in my backpack and carry them with me, and they definitely help. You know, there's times when you just can't get that hook out of the fish's mouth, and you need those pliers to get it out. You know, or if a fish is gut hooked or something like that, and you want longer ones. You know, you don't really want some short, stubby ones, but you want some longer ones to be able to get down in there and get those hooks, because sometimes those fish, they really swallow those hooks. But some Needlenose Pliers, definitely incredibly necessary, and I can't tell you how many times I've had to use them for fish, or even like getting hooked on my clothes or something and having to take that hook back out. Needlenose Pliers, something that I always have with me. I don't always use it, but I always have it with me, whether it's on my body or whether it's on my bag when I go fishing, is some kind of a knife. There's times when you just need a knife, when maybe a cutter isn't enough, and you really just need some kind of a knife to help you either cut some line or just whatever you need it for. But this is the one that I have. This is a Bear Grylls Gerber knife. Really like the Bear Grylls stuff. And this is the one with the paracord handle. It's just one solid knife. It's not one of those folding ones. I don't care too much for them, just because they can break easily. The mechanism can get messed up, and then you're kind of at a loss. So I like this full body one, and then I have the sheath on here that I can put either on my belt or whatever. And again, usually either on my body or in my bag, but definitely always have a knife with me. Another tool is a sharpener. This one is a knife sharpener, and it actually also has this little piece to sharpen hooks as well. So that's something just in case my knife gets dull and I've been using it to cut something. Whatever the case is, usually have that in my backpack. Something else that I have that I don't always use, actually I hardly ever use it, it's rare that I do, but I bought them and I carry them in my backpack, is some fish grips. You know, there's not really fish that I fish for that have like teeth or anything that I have to worry about, but I have used them just a couple times, you know, if I don't know, for any reason, honestly. And also the cool thing is it's also a scale, so you know, you put the fish on there and you can also weigh it. So that's cool. Again, not always used, hardly ever used, but I just like to have it with me just in case, you know, something happens, or maybe if I have like a cut on my finger or something and I just can't lip a fish, definitely some fish grips will help you out there. Another thing is for sure my scale. This is a digital scale. This is from Mustad, which I got at Walmart. I think it was like 20 something bucks, real cheap. But just a cool little scale, and it works pretty good. When I first got it, I tested it with other scales. I tested it with some kind of analog, you know, that other kind of scale that's not digital, but the analog ones, and it weighed true as far as I can see. So pretty cool. Definitely a necessity. I like to weigh my fish when I get them, you know, if they're of any significant weight. If they're small, obviously I'm not going to do it. But another thing also is some type of measuring board. And when I fished the tournament, I had this huge one that I needed to use for that tournament, but now that it's over, I don't carry it. But some type of measuring device, whether it's a tape measure, or whether it's like a paper kind of measuring board, whatever it is. I like the more solid ones. This one kind of slips down in my backpack, and it sticks out just a little bit, but it's not too bad. So that's what I have. Another thing super important is some type of a flashlight. And I like the headlamps. I like them just because I like to have my hands free. And usually I'm carrying rods or I'm carrying something in my hand, and to have a flashlight, it's just not it's not practical to have like a phone in my hand with a flashlight, or to have a flashlight on me. So I just pop this on my head, you know, and I've used it so many times. I'm out after dark, I'm trying to walk back to my car, my hands are full, and I need to see where I'm going. So a flashlight for sure. Just a couple more things here. Some type of bug spray. Always have this with me. Right now it's not so bad because it's colder weather, so they're not out as much. But during the warmer months, some lakes that I go to, there's just mosquitoes and gnats everywhere. So definitely a small type of bug spray. Not a huge thing, just compact. You can get these at Walmart. This is from Repel, and repels mosquitoes, ticks, gnats, biting flies, chiggers, and fleas. So definitely when I'm walking through places, I'm going to have this on me wherever I can, just so that I'm not getting bit all day long. What else do I have here? Batteries. In case the batteries in my lamp die, or in my scale die, I have some extras. I don't want to have the biggest fish of my life and not have a scale to weigh it. So definitely have some extra batteries. Those are necessary. And then one of the last things here, just a couple more things, is some type of marker, some type of permanent marker. Sometimes you want to do something to a lure, you want to change it up somehow, and you can use a marker to kind of help you do that. Sometimes for your line, if you're flipping and pitching and you want to kind of make your line less visible, when you're doing that, you can mark it up as well. And then another thing that I learned the hard way is just to be able to write something down when you need it. When I was doing the tournament last month, we have an identifier. You had something that you had to write down, whether you could write it on your hand or a piece of paper, just so that they knew that the catch was for that month. And I had left mine in my car, and I had nothing to write it down with. And I had caught a fish that was one of the bigger ones that I had caught during the month. And so what I did was, I took one of my packs of my lures, popped off the cardboard piece, turned it over to the white side, and I ended up using some fish attractant that was kind of a fluorescent green gel, and writing it out with my finger. And luckily they accepted it, but I was like, man, never again. I'm always gonna have a marker with me, because it's so necessary to have something to write down with, or to be able to mark something up if you need to. So some type of marker. I have this, which I don't always have with me, but this is for O-rings, for stick baits. You put your stick bait in there, pop your O-rings on, and that'll help you put them on easier, and it'll help your stick baits last longer as well when you're wacky rigging them. Have a small rag, have another small pocket knife. Yeah, you would use this when I would fish with worms at the river. Use that to cut them up. And then the last thing is just I use this mostly on my kayak, but a whistle, just in case I'm out there and I need help and something's happening, or whatever the case is. You know, you need to alert somebody, and they're just not hearing you. A whistle can generally be heard long distances. So that's what I have with me. Let's see, charger for my phone or my camera if it starts dying and I really need it. I can charge it back up. And then the last thing that I have all over my backpack and all over my kayak are carabiners. And you can get these for like 2 for $1 at the dollar store. So necessary. I clip stuff onto my backpack. I don't want to bend over, or I'm going somewhere and I have to jump or something, and some things go flying out of my bag. Not everything is inside, some things are in the side pockets, and I definitely don't want to lose my stuff. So carabiners, definitely necessary. So that's what I carry with me. Again, generally I'm always going to have this stuff with me. I don't always use it, and some things it's rare that I use, but I'd like to have it with me. I like to be prepared for any situation. So hopefully that helps you out. Maybe it gives you ideas of stuff that you need to take, or if you have ideas, maybe something that you take that I don't have. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you enjoyed this series on bank fishing. I'm gonna do one on the kayak as well, and see how that goes. But thanks again for all your support. If you want any information on any of the products that I've shown you today, again, it's not sponsorships or anything. It's just stuff that I like. I can go ahead and put a link below, or you can in the comments. I'll give you a link. But thanks again for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing if you've subscribed. If you haven't, it's free to do. So I ask that you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow it, trying to do more videos, and there's some pretty cool stuff coming up. So thanks again. God bless. Hopefully you get out there and you catch yourself lots of fish and that new personal best. It's winter fishing, fish slow, but they're still biting. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.